Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only, and for those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. And through this channel, I'd like to bring you some stock analysis and also short 5-minute trading lesson at the end, so please stay tuned. Okay, so a quick recap of the previous video. I brought you stock analysis for ticker symbol RBLX Roblox. So this is a very interesting stock for the long term. So please refer back to the previous video for detailed analysis and strike price for that one. Before we get started, what I'd also like to bring you up to date on is, I'm sure most of you will already be aware that over the weekend, Bitcoin has reached record highs in excess of $61,000. Which is good news. And what that means for us as investors, certainly if we're into some of the Bitcoin mining plays such as Mara and Riot and many others, so these are likely to this week reach possible record highs as well. So keep an eye on those stocks if you have invested in them, and my recommendation would be to consider taking profits. I don't think it would be a good idea to buy as the price is reaching record highs, because as we know, Bitcoin is very volatile and it can certainly just shoot downwards as well as upwards. So be careful with that, but certainly consider taking profits as it reaches all-time highs. Okay, so I'd like to start off by looking at some stocks to put on your watch list for Monday. These are stocks which I think have still got huge potential for movement up and also currently at a good buy price. First one is ticker symbol BNGO, BioNano. This closed down just in excess of 1% at $9.38 on a high. At one point this was up in excess of $15.50, so certainly lots of potential to move back up to that high later on this year. So ticker symbol BNGO, so I would consider any strike price for this as close to $9 as you can, so certainly put this one on your watch list, ticker symbol BNGO. So the second stock I'd like you to add onto your watch list is ticker symbol CTRM, Maritime. This is a stock that I have brought to you a due diligence video for previously, so please refer back to that for detailed analysis. So this one closed just up in excess of 3% on the Friday at $1.02, and I think on a high at one point it did achieve a price in excess of $1.72. So I certainly think this year this is going to easily cross over the $2 mark. They have been involved in lots of aggressive growth. There have been a number of catalysts in 2021. I expect this to continue in terms of buying additional vessels and looking for new markets and expansion. So this is a company that is growing tremendously, so Maritime. So I would certainly consider a strike price on this around about 90 cents if possible. So if you can catch this at 90 cents or around that price, certainly good one for the future. The next stock I'd like to bring you is ticker symbol IQST. So I may follow this up with the due diligence video for as well, IQSTL. This is a stock that has at one point reached prices in excess of $1.92, very close to touching $2. This is a stock with tremendous amounts of growth in terms of their revenue. They're also relatively debt free. Their business model is very good. And in terms of the upcoming catalyst for this stock, they are very close to announcing plans for uplifting to the Nasdaq. So that's positive as well. Ticker symbol IQST. So certainly consider looking at a strike price on this around about $1.05. It has been consolidating around $1.15, $1.10, and I think it's probably ready now to make a little bit of a movement up. So put this one on your watch list with a strike price of around about $1.05, ticker symbol IQST. The next stock I'd like to bring to your attention is ticker symbol TRCH. Again, this is a good one to put on your watch list for Monday, Torchlight Energy Resources. Previous week was very good week for Torchlight. They were up in excess of 35%, and on the Friday at one point also up in excess of 20%, giving a good opportunity to take profits. And book closing up in excess of 5%. So a very good week for Torchlight Energy Resources. The price at the moment was on the Friday $2.88. On a high, it has reached a price well in excess of $4 at $4.29. So I think certainly there is still considerable room for movement up. There is an upcoming catalyst for this stock as well in terms of the merger So certainly one to put on your watch list. If you were to not already enter this play, please consider a strike price as close to $2.50 as possible. So strike price for this, $2.50. And the final one I'd like to bring you is ticker symbol ZOM, Zomedica. This also had a tremendous week last week, and congratulations to everybody who did invest in this stock. It's also a stock that I carried out a due diligence video for previously, so please refer back to that for more detailed information about this stock. And it was up on the week in excess of 29%, and then on the Friday it was up in excess of 9% at $2.30. So it's very, very close now to reaching its all-time high of $2.70. So certainly one to put on your watch list. This is certainly growing in the right direction. They have a distribution deal. They have potential for revenue generation coming up fairly imminently. So ticker symbol ZOM, in terms of a strike price, consider anything around about the $2 mark for this going forward. So if we see a little bit of a pullback, consider entering this at $2. Okay, so stock analysis for today is a continuation of ticker symbol ABML. There has been a positive update on this, which I'd like to share with you in terms of a release of the investor presentation March 2021. So what I'm going to do is look at the key highlights for this and bring them to our attention in terms of investors and what this means for us. Okay, so the first key highlight from this presentation I'd like to bring you is slide number 4. And for slide number 4, we can see here the headline is there's going to be a rapid increase in demand for lithium-ion batteries and battery metals. So certainly I agree with that, and what the company has done is produce data to back this up rather than just make a statement. So we've got to have two bar charts there. One is from Bloomberg and the other is also from Bloomberg, and on the one on the left is showing the growth of battery electric vehicles market, and the one on the right is showing the growth of demand for battery metals. So certainly it is exponential growth year on year. We can see it is a continuation, so certainly it's a growing market. So the key headline I'm going to also bring to your attention there is that global demand for battery metals is expected to grow in excess of 10x by 2030, with a total market value of around $100 billion a year. So certainly long term this is an excellent stock. Okay, so the next slide I'd like to summarize for you in this March 2021 presentation is slide number 15, which I think is also important to us as investors. And this is details about their pilot plant and global development center in Fernley, Nevada. So this one was an area of contention in terms of the short report from Spruce Management. So the company have responded positively here and given details that certainly I believe that this application and approval is just a matter of formality. So let's have a look at some of the key headlines here on slide number 15. So first of all, they have the battery recycling plant. We have an image of how it will look like once it has been completed. It's also going to be expecting to generate revenue by Q1 2022. So certainly a realistic date there. They're not kind of saying we're going to generate revenue next week and next month. So very, very realistic there. So first of all, another headline in there is going to give access to low-cost electricity and utilities. They have nearby rail and infrastructure, so that's good for transportation. And the other key relevant point for investors here for us is they're going to be estimated benefits to the local economy of over $348 million in the first 10 years of operation, and also it's going to be scalable and repeatable opportunity for future plants. So this is something that is going to be replicated across different areas of the USA to start with. Okay, so I think the next slide I'd like to bring to your attention is slide number 16. So a lot of critics for American battery technology have referred to other businesses that are ahead of the game. In particular, Li-Cycle has been referred to by a lot of the critics in terms of it being well ahead. Okay, so what the company have done here quite positively is responded with an industry landscape comparison of all the similar businesses here. So let's have a look at the key area here in terms of what they have summarized for us. So if we look at the very bottom there, the key difference between all the other competitors and American battery technology is, first of all, in terms of the regions, they have US and Nevada, so they're looking at the whole of the US and Nevada to start with. But this is the key difference. The first key difference is in terms of the third column, lithium-ion battery recycling. So they have a low environmental EV impact, high margin. And certainly Li-Cycle and Northvolt have that as well, but not Redwood and not Lithium Americas. And the other key important thing that I'd like to draw your attention is the fourth column, which is primary battery metal extractions. So what they also have is they are now unique in having lithium hydroxide, low environmental impact and low acid consumption. So this is the only business that has this unique selling point for them. So obviously it's tremendous news in terms of giving American Battery an advantage over its competitors. So long term, this is going to be certainly a catalyst in giving this business an advantage. It's much more environmentally friendly, much more unique than the other competitors. So although they are behind in terms of revenue right now and probably in terms of valuation than compared to some of the competitors, but long term this is a positive sign. Okay, so the next slide, which I think is very important to us as investors, is slide 17, timeline, milestones and estimated costs. So this is going to give us an indication of some upcoming catalysts. So let's start by looking at where we are right now, Q1 2021. So the company have confirmed, in contrary to Spruce Management's report, plant permits to Fernley. So that is been submitted, and I think approval is just a matter of formality. So that's Q1 2021. So let's look at the upcoming catalysts that the company have highlighted. So Q2 2021, they're going to order plant equipment and they're going to start the site work. Q3, they're going to start the building the shell, and towards the end of this year, they're going to start the plant tenant improvements, and they're also going to install plant equipment. Q1 2021, this is very important because the plant operations will start. So that's very positive in terms of being very close to revenue generation. Q2 2022, they're going to acquire a site for commercial plant 1. So again, in terms of growth and expansion, that's positive for us as investors. Q3 2021, they're going to start commercial plant 1 permitting. So good news there as well. So another positive catalyst. Q4 2022, next year, battery grade metals production will start. Very good news. So certainly in terms of the stock price for Q4 2022, it's certainly going to be well in excess of where it is now. I think, in my opinion, Q4 2021, we're looking at double figures, certainly double figures there. So 2023, construction of the commercial plant 1, acquiring the site for commercial plant 2, and start commercial plant 2 permitting. So very good news in terms of growth. And 2024, construct commercial plant 2. So the company has laid out some very ambitious and realistic plans there for the future. Okay, so I'd like to finish off now by looking at the summary, which is on slide 19. So let's have a look at the first bullet point. So first bullet point here, American Battery Metals is looking to provide disruptive and clean lithium battery recycling and primary metal extraction technologies to meet the accelerating demand for battery grade materials for a circular economy. So certainly positive there. A number of critics have said that where are the orders, where are the people, where are the customers? So in terms of orders and customers, this is going to happen in the future once the business is ready to generate revenue. I think with the growth of the EV sector, it's going to be more of a case of which customers do you turn away. So that should be the response to any critics there. Bullet point number 2, the process is going to reduce e-waste. They're going to mitigate the reliance on high impact mining. So positive there. Bullet point 3, they have a highly experienced team. So certainly agree with that. There again, a number of critics have said the team do not have experience. So again, this was one of the reasons, impacts of this was to drive the share price down in terms of some of the negative reports. But the company have responded positively here and saying the team is highly experienced. So very pleased to see that. So In terms of the other relevant bullet point here, right near the bottom, we can see the pilot facility is going to generate revenue second quarter of 2022. So we're looking at just over 1 year time, and they're going to process 20,000 metric tons per year of battery feedstock. So when we are looking at quarter 2 2022, the company has said they're going to generate revenue. In terms of the impact for us as investors, in terms of the share price, in my opinion, that by that time I think it could easily be in excess of $10. So final bullet point, we aspire to be the dominant ESG principal US-based economy in battery metal extraction and recycling technology. So if you refer back to that table that I showed you in terms of the comparison with the other companies, certainly that is a possibility. So let's finish off now by looking at the parting thoughts. Okay, so the parting thoughts here are from the Chairman CEO Blackstone Resources AG, and the headline here, very positive. Tomorrow will certainly be a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So going forward, certainly a strong possibility. So on the left, the key headlines here is that the battery industry is set to become a $100 billion industry, and this pales into insignificance when you compare it with Tesla, whose market which is pushing north of $800 billion. So again, in terms of Tesla, we have seen a pullback in the share price, and that has come down, but going forward it should easily recover. So we're looking at $100 billion industry today, but tomorrow certainly possibly a multi-trillion-dollar. So it's a good note to finish off with there. Okay, so it's now time for lesson of the day. So as you will know, I am an educator, and all the lessons so far that I've brought to you have been trading lessons. So today I'm going to deviate from that a little bit. One of the reasons for that is that I do believe the brain needs exercise, and just similar to a lot of people are into healthy eating, they're also into going to the gym, which is positive. So I do believe the brain also needs exercise. In terms of being investors and trading on the stock market, it is very stressful. We do need to make rational decisions. It's very good to exercise the brain, in my opinion. So what I'd like to share with you today is something that I'd like you to share with your family as well. Share on your Facebook, share on your Instagram, and share on your Twitter. And it's just something to leave you with in terms of a brain teaser. So this is the question. The day before yesterday, Suzanne was 7 years old. Next year, she'll turn 10. How is this possible? So if you already know, congratulations. But if you do not know, share this with your family. Let's see if we can get the answer. And stay tuned in the next video where I will share the answer. Thank you again for joining, and stay tuned.